You can get mantra and meditation tracks at JasonGallant.ca.
So to start, somebody suggested that I should put one of my quotes on a t-shirt. And the quote that came out the other day, or what I said at satsang, was, "Don't grant immortality to your suffering." Okay, so I actually did put it on a t-shirt. As you click on the eye, you can find it. But what this means is, don't perpetuate your suffering. Don't turn pain into a cycle of suffering. You know, because many gurus will tell you this. You know, pain is an eventuality. Life and pain are the same. There are a lot of pain in life. But do you have to relive the pain over and over and over again? And that's really what we call suffering. Suffering is really your contribution to pain, right? So on that note, today I wanted to talk to you about the path to perfection. And I'm receiving a blessing right now, and it's been going on for the last few hours. So if I seem a little different, there's something blissy going on. So I can't tell you what it is, because I'm on the surrender path, right? So something's going on. So if I seem a little different, that might be what you're sensing. So anyway, what I mean by the path to perfection, okay? You know, let's really look at this. You know, a lot of people on the spiritual journey, they begin with the path to perfection. They say, I want to become perfect. I want to realize my God self. I want to realize who I am and see where this perfection is in me after I'm done fixing all the brokenness and all the flaws and all the things that are wrong with me. Because I must be right about that, because look at my life. My life might be a disaster, you know, depending on the student, depending on the person. They look at themselves and say, I'm not a financial success. I'm not a success in a relationship. I've not been successful in getting people to like me, you know. But as you tread upon the spiritual path for any period of time, you'll start to realize that the spiritual path has nothing to do with changing you. It has to do more with letting go of all the reasons why you are trying to change you, and then realizing that a lot of the problems that you have created in your life have come from this compensation, and that everything was perfect to begin with. It's all the messed up plans and strategies to deal with your imperfection that has caused all the commotion. Okay? So the spiritual journey begins at first with you looking at, how have I created these things and why did I create this? You know, and some of the stuff you didn't create, some of the stuff you didn't, or you weren't at least conscious of how you created it. Okay, so let's just put that in perspective. You know, there are energies that are in flux all the time, things that are happening around us, and we're not conscious sometimes of how those energies are in play. And part of us taking human incarnation is learning how this works on this level. No matter how hard you try, your idea of perfection will never be met. Each person will have a different idea. One person will say, I have to walk on water because that's what Jesus did, so that's what I have to do in order for perfection to exist, and in order for me to accept myself as I am. Another person will say, I have to be a financial success, I have to make $1 million, and then I will be allowed to like myself. Then I will be allowed to let myself be as I am, because I've proven that I am an effective tool in this world called Earth, called society. I am good at doing something, okay? But I'm here to say that all doing has to do with the ego. It has nothing to do with the experience that is beyond the ego, that is with you all the time, okay? So I'm okay with you perfecting the ego, becoming better at the ego, becoming good at doing this or doing that, becoming skilled at something, becoming educated. You can do all these things, but don't seek your highest happiness from those things, because that is very conditional. It is here today, gone tomorrow, and it's all happiness through here, through accomplishment. It's an excitement experience, but it's not a fulfillment experience. It's not the same. The reward of accomplishment and the satisfaction you get from accomplishment is much different than the satisfaction and the fulfillment and the bliss, the mystical bliss that you experience when you go beyond that game of needing to accomplish. I'm assuming I'm speaking to spiritual seekers here. I'm assuming I'm not speaking to people that are just fixated on, no, Jason, guess what? I want all the trees in the forest cut down because that's how I'm going to build my factory. And that's how I get my happiness. You know, I do get students like this from time to time. They claim to be a student, but they're not a student at all. They are actually looking for how to get better at meeting their plans in life. And some of those plans are quite destructive because they are not conscious of the pain that is driving those plans. Okay, they're not conscious. They're not conscious of the overwhelming need. And that need then starts to cause destruction in the environment, destruction in the, all sorts of systems and things that are basically, the plans are out of balance with nature and out of balance with the truth of the universe. They're all based on an idea. The idea that says bliss and happiness doesn't exist right here. Something needs to happen in order for it to be experienced. And the more plans a person perpetuates, the more things they try, the more times they create something and they don't experience this heaven on earth experience, then they up the ante. And the goals and aspirations become bigger and bigger and bigger and more messed up. And in drug addiction, you call it chasing the dragon. Okay? So at first one drug, it doesn't quite meet your needs. It feels pretty good, but then you have to go to the next one. And people do this with accomplishment as well. And at some point, they're willing to do horrible things in order to meet this expectation of the mind. And that is when the heart is absolutely, totally shut down. Okay? So the path that we're on, at least that I'm trusting that you're on if you're watching this video, is that you're looking for the unconditional self. You're looking for this experience that is inside you no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what type of drama is unfolding around you. And that will be experienced deeper and deeper as you accept yourself. As you take your acceptance of yourself deeper, you will gain more experience in this unconditional bliss. So this path isn't about perfection. It's about realizing the perfection that you already are and discarding anything, any thought that is supporting the idea that you are not perfect. I was talking to somebody at the coffee shop today and said it's amazing, people know the power of thought. They know the power of thought. They can come up with a thought and torture themselves for hours and hours on end, but many people never entertain the fact that, hey, maybe I can come up with a thought that will do the opposite. Right? That's your free will. You can choose that. Okay? So then some students will say, well, Jason, yeah, I changed my thought, but then I feel pain. So that must be not perfect. There must be something wrong with that because, my God, it doesn't feel very comfortable. And again, it feeling comfortable or not comfortable is a thought. That's your judgment of that sensation. That needs to be let go of and then see what unfolds. You will be pleasantly surprised. I guarantee it. If you keep applying this, you will be over and over again be pleasantly surprised by what shows up. The experience of bliss, the experience of the divine, and the experience of the unconditional only happens through your unconditional acceptance of yourself and the experiences that go with you being you. That is what we call realizing your perfection. The unconditional love for what is here and what is showing up. There's no need to fix, you see. Once you start fixing, that means you already have a judgment that something is broken. That's why they say no fixing. So take your acceptance deeper of yourself. Especially if you are suffering, take your acceptance of your experiences deeper. Take your acceptance of any sensation that's happening within you and discard any thought that is supporting your suffering, and you will travel very far on this path. When I say travel very far, of course, I'm speaking to the ego that knows point A and point B. The self, of course, who you are, is right here. There's nowhere to go. There's no destination to get to it. Okay? That's why realizing your perfection has to do with accepting the now. It has to do with being here, realizing that perfection is showing itself already to you. You don't need to go anywhere or get anywhere in order for this perfection to be here. Remember, it's about surrendering all conditions around this, including the spiritual journey itself. This can happen in an instant. So I hope this helps. Take care for now. Thanks for supporting my work, and I also want to let you know I also have another YouTube channel called Jason Gallant Music, and there I will be uploading meditation and music tracks, and feel free to listen in, and you can also access those tracks on my website at JasonGallant.ca in case you want to download them for your iPhone or iPod or something like that. Okay? So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.